Welcome everyone to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. It's a great joy to introduce or reintroduce His Holiness Hanumat Presaka Swami Bhaktivedanta.
Oh, God.
And
right from the first step, you're going.
he's one of the pioneers of our International Society for Krishna Consciousness here at Silicon Valley. He had, although he's an itinerant teacher, travels all over the world, academic institutions, teaching, making documentaries, preserving original Vedic literatures, speaking to dignitaries, great scholars everywhere. Still, he kept ISKCON of Silicon Valley as his base, the proof of which was that his danda was installed in our temple room pretty much permanently. And that means for sannyasi that he's still there. His representatives there.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Because of his teaching all over the world and the great demand for him in various places, he's back only after a long time, and we couldn't be more delighted. So he's a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, joined right here in the Bay Area. In fact, we were early colleagues in the temple at Watseka Avenue, 1973.
I took initiation from a letter from Prabhupada, and the same letter, Vaisheshika took second initiation. Remember that? Yeah.
He always brings that up.
Yes, he's my big brother.
Yeah. Only on paper.
and also in physical geography, too. My big brother.
We have deep love and respect for one another, and it's always a pleasure to connect with the God Brother. We just had some quality time to talk and review, which is a heart and soul for those of us who have been together for so long. Oh. And it's just such a delight to have you here, Maharaj. Thank you very much for coming back.
Yeah.
Please give the warmest of ISV welcomes, even though we're missing a few spaces here. I can't figure out why. Please welcome His Holiness Hanumat Presaka Swami Bhaktivedanta.
Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Do you start? Do we start? Will you start with Jai Radha Madhava or anything? Or anything? Oh, let's do that. Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivaradare Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Rana Jamuna Tera Vana Shari Jamuna Tera Vana Shari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai. So Prabhupada ki jai. I sing in a non-harmonic key, Maybe you figured that out. Yeah. So this thing's in a harmonic key. So, yeah. Narayanam namaskrityam Naram chaiva narottamam Devam sarasvatim vyasam Tato jayam udirayat Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya So sometimes Srila Prabhupada says that a disciple should work as he has heard from the lips of his spiritual master. Now, some people in our community are saying that nobody is qualified to be a guru in ISKCON. Only Prabhupada is the only guru. But this creates a problem if you're supposed to act as you've only heard from the lips of your spiritual master. Okay, so I heard from Prabhupada's lips, and now you can hear from my lips. Yeah. So you have to, okay, I'm a spiritual master. Yare Deki Tari Kaha Krishna Upadesh Amar Agnai Guru Hoy. Lord Chaitanya says, everybody on my order become guru, but different kinds of gurus. And Prabhupada is the founder Acharya, Samstapaka Acharya, and all of us are supposed to have our positions. So when he was in Berkeley, California, the San Francisco temple, a couple things happened. One reporter asked him, he said, Swamiji, what will happen to your movement when you die? And I heard from Prabhupada's lips, he said, I will never die. I will live forever in my books. Okay, And such a strong experience. There are many people, and one famous story with Bhakti Bringa Maharaj, some years ago, he had to go to Delhi, maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He had to go to Delhi to get his passport renewed as an American in India. And if you know the Indian bureaucratic system, this is a process extending over many lifetimes to get your passport renewed. So first he found out where the general area was, then he found the building, and by about 10 o'clock in the morning he found the office where he was supposed to renew his passport. And the building was built by the British Raja. It was half falling down, everything else, so forth and so on. So finally one desk, and this boy was there, and he was, said, I'm the guy, and I need to renew my passport. He looked up at Bhakti Bringa Maharaj and his sannyasi. He said, sit down. Okay, you want passport, what country, this and that, and where you're from? Do you have a bank account? Oh, you got to get this form and that form. And so he was realizing, this is going to take, I got to go here, get this form, everything else. And finally the boy said, hey, maybe 5 or 6 people there at their desks. He said, look, I'll take you around. I'll help you with this. So they went back up this stairway and back down that way, and he got people to stop their work, and, you owe me. Stop it, take care of this. So he said it only took about 45 minutes. And they got back to the desk, and they were sitting there. And then the boy's finishing off the last work. Young man, this boy, I'm 78 years old, okay, maybe like 25, 22 years old or something. And so I said, the reason I'm helping you is because 1 year ago I was so confused, so unhappy, I didn't know who I am, everything else. Indian fellow, of course. And he said he pulled out Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? So this is maybe like 2005 or something, And he said, but I got, A.C. Bhaktivedanta's book 1 year ago, and now I'm so happy, everything's clear, who I am, what is life. And so one of his students, disciples comes in, hey, how can I not help you like that, Do you think if I wrote to Prabhupada, he'd answer? Yeah, he said it like that. Do you think if I wrote to Prabhupada, he would answer? And Bhakti Bringa Maharaj could realize he had a completely personal relationship with Prabhupada. Yeah. So he had to tell him, Prabhupada left his body in 1977. And it's like somebody, what's your father's name? Yeah, he died half an hour ago in an auto accident. And even just saying that is like, that was exactly the reaction. It was like, it was this totally personal relationship through Prabhupada's books. So Prabhupada said, I will never die. I'll live forever in my books. So, books are the basis, yeah. But Prabhupada also, in the same time he was there, he said, anybody who chants Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda, and follows it with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, has achieved the perfection of life. But if you want to preach, you should probably read my books. Yeah. So the Maha Mantra is Maha Mantra. All of the mantras in the Bhagavatam, everybody else pay their obeisances to the Maha Mantra. But it's very concentrated, everything else. It's very intense. So for our own progress and then for preaching, we have books. Prabhupada spent so much effort, obviously. So we did this before too, the Bhaktivedanta Library. Okay, you have so many books, right? So many books, but they're very systematic, right? Yeah. The Vedas have everything knowable to man. Ayurveda, Gandharva Veda, Vastu Veda, architecture, medicine, everything is there. This is Shruti, which is directly heard from God. And then we have Isopanishad, which is Shruti. It's from the Yajurveda. It's the only thing in all of Prabhupada's books that we have which is directly spoken by God. And I think it's even why Prabhupada did it, because so many purports says these things are better explained in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so we have Isopanishad, from Prabhupada. It's so wonderful. Then the next book in our big graphic here is the Bhagavad Gita, which is also known as Gita-upanishad, because still we have the Bhagavad Gita as it is, which talks about so many advanced topics in the purports and the translations. But the actual Bhagavad Gita talks about what is matter, what is Atma, and then what is Jivatma, and that's about it, So then Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the heart of the Bhaktivedanta Library, it starts historically and philosophically where the Bhagavad Gita finishes. Bhagavad Gita finishes off with the Paramatma, we're all related, he's eternal, we are his servants. And then the Bhagavatam starts off with a Hokshaja, Achyuta, all these, Vasudev, and Prabhupada translates them all as Krishna, of course, Krishna, yeah. But it's starting off like that, and it goes through 10 cantos, 12 cantos, up to Krishna's smiling face. So that's the heart of everything we're doing. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita is Lord Chaitanya's Srimad Bhagavatam class. He's showing us philosophically by verses and these things, and he's showing us how to live. Lord Chaitanya said, you can only understand Srimad Bhagavatam when you become a madman like me. Of course, there are many madmen in the world, but we're trying to become madmen like Lord Chaitanya. Okay. So very systematic, you put it there, organized. What is the relationship of the Krishna book to the Bhagavatam? 10th canto. What is the relation of Light of the Bhagavat to the Bhagavatam? Chapter 25? Yeah, chapter 25. Yeah. And then next, what else we got? We have all the Bhagavatam lectures that Prabhupada did. We have all the Bhagavad Gita lectures. We have room conversations, everything else. What else we got? The teachings of Lord Chaitanya is a summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita in 5 chapters. What's the other one? The life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It's the introduction to the Bhagavatam. So nice. It's a whole summary of Lord Chaitanya. In Spanish, it's a separate book. So nice, like they can pass out. So everything is related. You can put it into a very nice, simple graphic and put a little heart there. Srimad Bhagavatam is the heart, and so on, and everything else is relating to that. Then we have Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right? And it covers everything from the basic principles of karma all the way up to even beyond the Chaitanya Charitamrita, really. What does Prabhupada subtitle it? The Nectar of Devotion, what is it? The complete science of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, yeah. Lord Chaitanya had to defeat Advaita Vedanta. Nowadays you have to look really hard to find an Advaita Devantas to go out and fight with him. So Prabhupada's mission is, who is he fighting with? Scientists. Yeah. I was thinking about getting involved with the Bhaktivedanta Institute on a full-time basis. I started in sciences, changed to life sciences, graduated in psychology, was starting improvisational theater. So to go back and start working with science again, the Bhaktivedanta Institute, oh my goodness. But I asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj about working with him, and he said, Prabhupada said over and over again for his entire last year, scientific preaching is my #1 preaching program. Okay, all right. Yeah. Tamal Krishna Maharaj is very heavy. And then Rabindra said it the same way. So yeah, that's what, the current age, we got to put things in that sense. Okay, so we have nectar of devotion, which is a complete science, okay? But when right here, we happen to have with us, right here, yeah, the nectar of instruction, which is a summary study of Upadeshamrita. So what is this relationship? How does this fit into the Bhaktivedanta library? This is like a summary. You have the whole nectar of devotion in 11 verses. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about this whole perspective on education, and maybe, okay, this is a great book to distribute. So first we have the preface. What is in the preface of a book? You all great scholars here. What do you find in the preface of a book? Qualifications of the author. I'm a professor of mathematics at Middle High School in Kansas. Huh? Yeah. What is expected from the student? Okay. This is, and under what circumstances the book is being written, and what is the purpose of the book? Yeah. So you find many Prabhupada's prefaces. They explain this very clearly. My name is Bob Smith. I'm a professor at Middle High School in Kansas, and we discovered that there's no good introductory book on calculus for high school students. So in the summer of 1935, when my students and my professors, we wrote a book on Introduction to Calculus for high school students. It's expected the student will have finished analytical geometry before he starts. That's the preface, okay? First canto is a preface. What's happening, what's the circumstance, who's speaking, everything else like that. And the second canto is in which Sukadeva Goswami actually starts to present stuff, Who's Maharaj Pariksit? Who's Sukadeva Goswami? What's the situation? What's happening? So very clear. Srimad Bhagavatam is so systematic, so systematic. So look at the preface here. Prabhupada says, the Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas, or Bengali Vaishnavas, are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Prabhupada said there should be a copy of this in every house in the world. So he's writing this. Okay. The Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Rupa Raghunatha Padai Hoi Be Akuti Kabe Hama Bujabo Se Yugala Piriti. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the 6 Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, why? In order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. Okay, so this is our mission statement. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna, the science of Krishna, are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of, what's up there? Srimati Radharani, the best of all the gopis. It's so systematic. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, didn't cut all the way through, and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. And so many times Prabhupada names them because it's so auspicious just to hear their names. You can say all together, Sri Rupa, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva, Gopala Bhatta, Dasa Raghunath. Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction to follow. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Shikshastaka, Rupa Goswami gave us the Upadeshamrita, so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. Yeah. And he's putting it on the same level as the Shikshastaka, no? The Upadeshamrita. And then the rest of it is actually not the preface. The rest of it is the introduction, but it's all in just one little thing like that. So then he introduces the first verse, which is, control your senses there. Yeah. So this is, what is our mission? We were discussing this last night with Bir Krishna Goswami. He said our mission is to make more devotees, more happy devotees. But also here is a very clear mission statement. Our mission is to educate ourselves and qualify ourselves by studying the literature of the Goswamis to help Lord Chaitanya in his mission, which is to give the science of Krishna to humanity. Wow. And you orient yourself. You just, how can I fit in? I didn't want to surrender to the Bhaktivedanta Institute. I already done enough science, my God, But finally I was hearing from, authorities, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Rabindra Swarup, other people. So finally I said, okay, I got to do this. And as soon as I surrendered, then I began to see, okay, this is how I fit in. I graduated with a first place prize in psychology from the University of California in 1975, Beta Kappa, with minor studies in biology, electrical engineering. Okay, yeah. Sadaputra and other people, they're just geniuses in their areas. To be a genius in science, you've got to know one thing very specifically. The Bhagavad Gita is called knowledge in the mode of ignorance. One thing. Okay. So they were way far more advanced in their particular areas than I was. But none of them had the breadth I did in all these different fields. So our books included biologists, they included physicists, and I had enough background in terms of the jargon to write the index. And everybody was sitting there waiting for me to finish the index so they could publish it. So I found my position, yeah. And also because as a psychologist, all scientists are crazy, okay? Like, Albert Einstein was crazy. What's his name? Sir Isaac Newton was crazy, and he was having a war with Leibniz and stuff. And it's behind the scenes, all this emotional stuff was going on. Yeah. And so I was a psychologist, so I was sitting there like trying to help people. Yeah. So you find your place, right? You find your place in the Sankirtan movement. One of the members, my friend Lokanath, we did puppet shows together all over the U.S. I just saw him again. But his wife, Maharani Devi Dasi, she doesn't know the difference between an atom and a molecule. How many people here, if you know the difference between an atom and a molecule, raise your right hand? Some people aren't raising their hands. Okay. Yeah. Science is such a fundamental thing. But she was a really good cook, like that, and very nice. So we had a program up in Berkeley, and the campus and everything else, and we had, I think, 3 Nobel laureates there, candidates for Nobel Prize, and it was the first international conference on the study of consciousness within science. Because if you use the word consciousness at a science conference, everybody would be shocked. I could say a word right now, and everybody would be, Mars, you shouldn't have said that word. There are certain words you just don't say. You give the initial for the word, the so-and-so letter word, right? It's not even to say the letter. So that's what it was like, because they could not explain consciousness. So if somebody said consciousness at a science conference, it was, he said the C word. What? The C word? I said the C word? Yeah. So this was a big deal. First international conference in the study of consciousness within science. George Wald was there, Nobel Prize for chemistry. What's the other guy? Eugene Wigner. Sir John Eccles. These guys are geniuses. They take on 5 other Nobel laureates. He was so powerful. It was unbelievable how genius these guys are. So anyway, we organized this trying to show and talk about consciousness from the point of view of the Vedas and bring it in properly. And it was one of the most boring experiences I ever had in my life. I was helping to organize it, but I didn't want to go. They said, no, here's your reward. You can go, and you have to go. So I sat there. One of the sessions was consciousness one of the arrays of the state vector at the origin of the universe? So he knows enough science. Anybody here understand what that means? Some people may figure out, no, this is how scientists are trying to understand consciousness. Yeah. And so the conclusion was, that was interesting because they had a debate then. And so some of them were supporting, yes, it had to be. When the universe started, there had to be consciousness. It's not something that could have arisen out of matter. And other people were trying to do something else. And so that was a very good result like that, and so on. Yeah. So, okay, so Mother Maharani, okay. So then we had a coffee, they were in a hotel in San Francisco, a very big hotel. Everybody came, we had a coffee break, and she was cooking all kinds of salty and sweet savories and this kind of stuff, and juice, and just lunch and stuff. And so all these Nobel laureates and everybody else, the conference was interesting, but you could see them looking at their watch, how long is it until the coffee break. Then they all would get up and run up and stuff, and just, picking out these things and stuff. And she was there at the end, dressed up like a chef and stuff. And they were asking her how these things were cooked, everything else. And so these are Nobel laureates in physics, and she doesn't know the difference between an atom and a molecule. But then she would say, and the books are just as good. Give me 3. I mean, literally, it was like, if you can cook like this and everything else, then have me a couple of those books and so on. So that was her position. She, Srup Damodar said, the first thing you do when these people come, you have nice reception on their level, the prestige and these kind of things. Second thing, you have lunch, right? Then after lunch, you talk philosophy. And he showed how, it's all necessary like that. So everybody has their position in the Sankirtan movement. We're all unique. Nobody can do our position. But Prabhupada, was saying that books are the basis, okay. So he established 4 diplomas, right? Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma. Okay, so if you have Bhakti Sarvabhauma, raise your hand. If you have Bhakti Vedanta, raise your hand. He said, raise it. Raise it. That's why you got a wife. And he told me years ago we should use these titles, So they told me, we want to make you Bhakti Vedanta, you studied all this stuff. I'm embarrassed, I don't want it. No, you have to take it. So I did my Tapapachi Apache. I said, let this be my thesis then okay. And they all looked at it. Yeah, it's good. So, okay, here I'm going to be, was it Bhakti Vedanta, no, what's it called? H.P. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. H.P. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, it was A.C. Bhakti. Stupid, completely and crazy. And I think it's like all the Ritviks in the world. Oh God, all the Ritviks. Oh, now you become Bhakti Vedanta. I was like putting a title on. Yeah. So, but he told me we had to use them. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. The Catholic Church is very famous for their level of scholarship. When they start talking about theology and stuff, they talk about karma mimamsa. I mean, historically, they've had to deal with so many deviations, and they've come up with very clear, concise things. It's more difficult to become a doctor of the church than it is to become pope. It's a very serious title, and also within Islamic traditions and stuff. And so, what is the 50th anniversary of ISKCON? The devotees organized a program in Harvard on analyzing how ISKCON was doing as an academic organization. Okay, all these people coming, just honest, straightforward description of how we've done in terms of developing our academic aspect. And the conclusion was, considering the resources you've done very well. You have very senior scholars, your publications are coming along. But yeah, the Catholic Church has had 2,000 years, and the Muslims and so on. So it's a very important aspect. And Prabhupada said it's not for everybody. It's for pundits. How many pundits in the room? Yeah. How many people here like to read books? Okay. Yeah. You go other places. People. My father read. I saw my father in his whole life. He read one book. He sat on this coffee table next to the thing for about 3 months, and finally he would pick up, it was Rommel the desert fox. Yeah, but he was a very nice person. He watched television. Prabhupada says, Nanda Maharaj could not read or write. He hired an educated fool to do it for him. Welcome to Silicon Valley. How many educated fools here being employed by, so the Vaishya, okay. He said, what to speak of the girls? What was one of the biggest terror of the gopis? One of the things about, in terms of reading and writing, what were they terrified of? Krishna had gone to Dwarka, and all those girls were so educated and everything else, they could do crossword puzzles. That's a true story. So we're just country girls, we make cow dung patties, and Krishna's going to forget all of us, because those girls are so sophisticated. So that's Vrindavan. But Prabhupada said they knew everything because they would go to lectures given by the Brahmins with puppet shows and stuff, and they knew the cosmos, everything. So that's the job of the Brahmins, right? The Brahmins are supposed to understand this all intellectually. Take the Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken 5,000 years ago, and then put it into modern language and modern context and stuff, I was in Spain, I was in Ecuador, and one Sunday feast, and one lady was at a lecture, everything else, maybe 45 years old, and she said, I like your philosophy so much, I've been getting your books, got your book about 6 weeks ago, and the problem is, I have a problem, and because in your books it says that bread is for satisfying illicit desires. Huh? And I have a bakery, and your books say that bread is for satisfying illicit desires. And we're all, speaking for me in English, and everybody there, all the book, it doesn't say it any place in our books. And she pulls out Upadeshamrita, and Prabhupada said, one satisfies illicit desires by tobacco, marijuana, what's it called, bidis, and pan. The word for bread in Spanish is pan. Yeah. So that's what, Prabhupada had to interpret it for us for 5,000 years. He had to bring it down to our level, right? The acharyas do. Yeah, and we have to also explain it to people in terms of our competency and everything else. You've got to be able to, it says the sun is closer to the earth than the moon, right? So everybody who has Bhakti by Baba diploma should be able to explain this, yeah? Yeah, there's a whole description. We can explain it. It's not talking about the earth. It's talking about Bhumanala. It's talking about the ecliptic. Yeah. So we have to be able to explain this thing to our community, our people, the people, our circle, the people we associate with. And in general, science is the atmosphere. Yeah. So the diplomas are not for everybody. Prabhupada said they're for pundits. They're people scholars who work that way. Cooks know something else. Ladies, mothers know something else. Yeah. So, but for those people that are, scholarly inclined, okay, we should have diplomas, we should have a standard, we should have knowledge of these things. So Bhakti Shastri is for Bhagavad Gita, Isopanishad, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, the first part. Okay, and that's Prabhupada said like the college level bachelor's degree. Then Bhakti by Baba is for first 6 cantos of the Bhagavatam and the previous books. They were kind of skipping that. That's one thing I introduced. Hey, because many times they would try and teach the Bhagavad Gita as if you're never going to study it again. And it's like, no, we're just, first time around, we're just going through. Second time around, you read Burijan's Surrender Unto Me, yeah? And then you teach your students with that knowledge and stuff. So it's a spiral. Bhagavad Gita verses are being quoted in 10th canto of Bhagavatam, yeah. But now you're understanding in more depth and stuff. Okay. And then Bhakti Vedanta, the whole Bhagavatam, yeah. And Prabhupada said you can initiate that, right? Yeah. Those who have Bhakti Vedanta can initiate. So now Vaisheshika and myself can start initiating now. It's the whole, yeah. Yeah, and then Prabhupada added Bhakti Sarvabhauma, right, which is Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it's very difficult implementing these things. For one thing, I think every single teacher who teaches these things say there's a tremendous challenge to not to let it just become an intellectual thing and ask questions and give back memory and that kind of stuff. This tremendous thing. But everybody is saying, no, the real thing is a change in character. It's a change in your bhava. You know? The first two cantos are understanding Krishna's lotus feet, Sambandha. And as you start to go ahead and read the other cantos, and it starts to become, hey, why did they say this? What's happening? Everything else. So it really is, as you're going up the Bhagavatam, it's a study guide of, a manual, how to go through these levels of consciousness. And maybe we'll understand it in general, but are we really going to reach the 10th canto and reach Krishna's lips? Yeah. Maybe, what is it going to... Hanuman may not probably go beyond the beginning of the 3rd canto, right? Yeah. So, in our movement now, Prabhupada said, in the first stage, they'll laugh at you, right? Yeah, the first stage, they'll laugh at you. In the second stage, they'll attack you, right? And the third stage? Yeah, they'll start expecting, good advice from you. They'll start expecting to see, things. They'll come to us. And that's my perspective now, traveling all over the place and everything else. That's where we've come. Abraham Lincoln said, some people can survive through adversity. Some people can survive through adversity. But he said, if you really want to test somebody, give them money and power. Yeah. So what's happening in ISKCON now? And when Prabhupada left, how many initiated devotees were there? Huh? Say 5,000. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Multiply by 10, you have. Multiply by 100, you have 500,000. Yeah. ISKCON now claims 1 million people in membership. Yeah, so we have a lot more power. That's just members. How many friends do we have? We were talking about this. We're starting to have very serious dialogues with the Mormons. But we have to know their scriptures and their basis and stuff. And they're very serious, And then they're starting to understand our things. And it's just amazing how many things that we agree on. The Mormons were started by Joseph Smith in about 1825 in upstate New York, a farm guy who discovered these sacred texts and stuff about a tribe of Israel that came to America, and then they got lost and everything else. That's what it's describing. And he was able to translate them and everything else, and people saw them, okay. And then they had all these problems because they established their principles and everything else, which includes polygamy, by the way. Yeah, a lot of problems. So a lot of things. And then they talked to God afterwards about how do we apply this. So the Book of Mormon is the basic ancient scripture. And the Doctrines and Covenants is where they talk to God about how to apply stuff. And so God wanted them to give 50% of their income to the church. And they said, that's a lot. And so they talked to God again, and God said, well, 30%. That's still a lot, God. They talked to God again, seriously. And God said, 10%. Take it or leave it. So every Mormon gives 10% of their income, okay? And then God said, as far as meat eating goes, directly there, I would prefer you don't do it at all. But in times of extreme cold or hardship, you can take it sparingly. How many people here do Nirjala Ekadasi? Okay, some people, okay. For a Mormon, being a vegetarian is about the same thing. People looking, well, it's nice, but a little fanatical. Yeah. So being a vegetarian is like, it's like nice. And if you're serious, yeah. But it's something, it's all there within their scriptures. Generally, people will criticize Mormons because they say you can become God. So if you approach some ordinary Mormon and say, hey, can you become God? They'll say, oh, no, of course not, I can't become God. Yeah. But if you start talking confidentially, they'll say, yeah, actually, you can become God. The exact phrase is, by sufficient pious activities, you can become as God and have your own universe. Does this sound like a job description of somebody we know? This is precisely Lord Brahma, isn't it? By sufficient pious activities, you can become as God and have your... And there's this one thing after another like this, which somebody from a farm in New York in 1825 is not going to come up with. It goes on and on like that. And so, and on a practical basis, the discussion we were having was up in Boise, this most recent one, and 3 families came, very senior people, and it was in the perspective of Mother Govinda Priya and ladies' ministry. So we're kind of focusing on that. I asked, in Mormon tradition, is it possible for someone to be brahmachari and this kind of stuff? And they're saying nobody is saying people are going to kind of like push you and everything else, but okay, some people are weird, you know, but no. There's absolutely no institution within their church. Everybody's supposed to get married and be fruitful. Passion. Then I asked, do you have a ladies' ministry? And then the husband looked at his wife, and she smiled and kind of nodded. We have the oldest religious ministry in America, the Ladies Relief Society, you know. And they do all these things. They have, you know, so they published a document about, 3 years ago on their statement of this is what marriage means. Marriage means a man and a woman. Marriage means the husband is head of the family, and he takes care of the family, spiritually and materially. Husband means that usually the wife takes care of the children and the family. You know, it's like one thing after another, and it's like, so what I'm suggesting now is that, you know, our ladies' ministry should go through, you know, and I've already going to pray. It's nice looking at it and seeing, because, so many things, it's like, we agree on this, you know. And other things, we got some comments to make. So make up an official document from the Ministry of Vaishnavi Services, have it approved by the GBC, and then give it to them and sending it. This is our position. And already they're going to say, okay, now we're starting to talk very seriously to get these things together, you know. And okay, we can see we got differences, and that's stimulating. We like that. You know, the Book of Mormon, Book of Doctrines and Covenants says you should go to other churches. You should see how God is being worshipped in those churches and so on. So a very nice relationship. This is what we're trying to do, is distributing our literature, ideas of philosophy, and they're reading our books, you know, because they're seeing these similarities. So we have 1 million members, you know. They have, 17 million, okay. So somehow or other, I mentioned this point, somehow or other ISKCON gets cornered, and we have to face off with the world on abortion. We're sitting there with our 1 million members kind of facing off against the world alone, like that. In the background, you hear some more people coming with horses and chariots, and you turn around, and there are 17 million Mormons. Hey, we back these guys up. And that's where it's at. There are a lot of groups, where we can start making connections, but we have to know the Bhagavatam, right? The first step in the Bhagavatam in the second canto, first chapter is pantheism. If you believe in fresh air and sunlight and these things, that's the first step. The second step is the Lord in the heart, introspection, meditation, these kind of things and so on. The final thing is pure devotional service to change in heart. So we can, with these Bhaktivedanta Institutes, so many times you see you have nice hospitality, and you see how all these groups fit together, and you can put them together nicely. So that's our literature. We're learning Upadeshamrita. It deals with everybody in text number 10. Karma bhya parito hare priyateya vyaktim jajyo ganinas. Gani ganinas. Yeah. It starts with vikarmis, karmis, gyanis, vimukti gyanis, sadhana bhaktas, braja bhaktas, gopis, and chandravali. Yeah. Nobody's responding here. Who is your teacher here? Only one guy in the whole room responded. Chandravali is the best gopi, right? No. Oh, God, these people have no feeling whatsoever. You're supposed to say, no. Raghunath Das Goswami was taking a little buttermilk from a leaf cup. So his disciples were worried, so they said, let's find some place that makes bigger leaf cups. So they found, was it Saki Stali? They make bigger leaf cups. So they brought Raghunath Das Goswami. He's looking at it and said, oh, okay. So he said, where did you get these? He said, from Saki Stali. He said, that's Chandravali's village. I won't even touch her leaf cup. Okay. Yeah. So the Upadeshamrita. Won't you know, if you know what a vikarmi is, a karmi, everybody's there, and Prabhupada talks about it. And does Krishna love the karmis? Yeah, not the vikarmis, but the karmis. These are good people, nice people. Yeah. Jesus one young man came to Jesus Christ, and he said, Master, you're preaching about God, everything else. I've done all the rules. I've given all the charity. I've done all these things. So what else do I have to do? And he said, give all your possession away in charity and follow me. And the young man went away with a long face because he was very wealthy. And Jesus looked after him, and it said that Jesus loved him. And he shook his head and he said it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. But by the mercy of God, all things are possible. Very nice statement like that and so on. So, yeah, this is the karmis. We call dirty karmis. No, karmis are good people. It's hard to find a karmi in the modern world. But they're following the Prophet Muhammad. They're following Socrates. They're following Confucius. Confucius is coming back like anything in China. So, but they just be good people. So our culture, our philosophy, our books, you take it to heart. Either you do it as a pundit. These courses should do the work. For those people who are scholars and everything else, these courses should do the work. If you're a cook, then you should, acquire the same inspiration, and you should go to the classes. That's what happens. Without the books from somebody, either directly or indirectly, well, you're not going to advance unless some very special, unusual thing. So we're promoting these diplomas, and now we finished off Bhaktivedanta, and we're trying to start Bhakti Sarvabhauma. But then the question is, what does it mean? It's not just memorizing verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when we were all together in Pune, and my typical Hanumat Presaka Swami thing, they were asking, what do these mean? I said, at Bhakti Shastri, you should be able to defend yourself from deviations. Okay? At Bhakti Vaibhava, you should be able to defend other people. Okay? Bhakti Vedanta, you should be able to go out and defeat deviations. And at Bhakti Sarvabhauma, you should be able to start your own deviation. I was joking, of course, and okay, Hanuman Swami, sit over there, we'll go on. But that's exactly what I see is happening in ISKCON. How many, basically, they're on the level of, they know the Bhagavatam, you can start mentioning names, they know the Chaitanya Charitamrita and everything else, and they're starting their own program. And maybe it's in a little bit of a deviation, it'll be solved, or maybe it won't be solved, Because that's what's happening now, we're becoming powerful. Not only powerful in terms of money and influence, but also in terms of, what's it called, Veda Vadarata? And we know these things, the books, the philosophy, and everything else, but maybe it's not 100% pure. There's some deviations in there. Our whole history of Gaudiya Vaishnava is full of deviations. Some of them are so bad that if I talk about them, the ladies would have to leave the room. It's like, my God. And they went on for generations and stuff. And other ones are very small. What's the difficulty? We may become an Indraloka religion, right? Where being vegetarian is like something that's in there, but who cares about it? Going back to God here, to Goloka. No, ISKCON means being pious, being good, worshiping God, and in the next lifetime. If the Mormons are going on the way they're going to take birth as Lord Brahma. It's all in the mode of passion. I was discussing with them, and it's talking about the highest levels are there, but the main thing is to die and go to heaven and be reunited with your family in heaven forever. So we can become the same thing. Right? No, what happened to us? Yeah. And so, therefore, studying the books and everything else with these purposes and stuff, and developing them. And so, at different levels, having different things like essays responsible, making a really good, effective educational system. And it's probably not going to happen in one lifetime. Catholic Church has had 2,000 years to work at it. So that's kind of our perspective, what we're doing now, and we're trying to, develop. Because in South America, they're also finishing off Bhaktivedanta, and they want to start Bhakti Vaibhava. And we have quite a few people in North America, Sangat Sanjayate, come on, we get together and work. And what should it be? In Vidyapit, in Govardhan Equa Village, Gauranga Darshan, they do one chapter a day. Right? One chapter a day. But these are Indian brahmacharis and everything else. 2 days a week, hard work, physical. And we were doing one chapter a week. So what should we do? How do we do it? Should we be study partners? Cameras are going. It's like being married. It's like, oh God. Now you're getting stuck together. So how long should we take to do it? 1 year. We have a summative examination. We finished that off. All the questions are there. You look at the questions and go and take the examination, get the diploma. But you've already, this is for Jayapataka Maharaj. He's doing it like that. People that have already done it. We want to catch everybody up. But I don't want to do a summative examination. I think you want to do what he does. Let's read it. But just doing the summative examinations, boy, I learned so much about it. So. Because there's different sized chapters in there too. This is the kind of thing we need to maybe work out in the content and stuff. But about 2 years, 1 year? Yeah. You get I was thinking about the same thing too, yeah. Taking about 2 years and going through. Because it changes your heart. I mean, you understand. And then you can deal with, these problems that are, you see you're getting more influential, you know stuff. I don't like those people, they're arguing with me. Well, I'm going to start my own, tendencies there, I'll have my own center my way I want to have it. And then going out and helping people, because I know many people, nice people, they're drifting farther and farther away. So any questions or comments here? Koi prashna hai? Main Hindi sikh raha hu. Cigarette mat pijiyega. Okay, yes, Anji. Yeah. The Fernsprecher is coming. Wow.
Thank you so much for the announcement.
What is your good name?
My name is Apara Gaurangi Devidasi.
Oh, wow, that's nice. Wow, okay. Good name. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Manoj. You were mentioning about how reading Srila Prabhupada books and doing different courses.
Yeah.
The aim is to have a change in heart and development of character.
Actually, the change in heart. Where's heart? Heart's in the attitudes in the heart. Prabhupada says that the real thing is a change in attitude. This is interesting. But that's for us, that's in the heart. And Bharata Muni, with authority on Western drama, which is the source of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, says the essence of the drama is the bhava, the consciousness. Aristotle says it's the plot. It's not passionate. Some movies you see them afterwards, you come out. Yeah.
So my question is, while we study Srila Prabhupada books, what should be our mood? What should we do to gravitate more towards development of character? As students, what we can do to gravitate more towards it?
Gravitate more towards?
Development of character and not go in the scholarly direction.
Wow. See, the fundamental reason we're here is because we think I can know independently, I can do this and that. So mostly our job is like 5-year-old kids, trying, just understanding. If everybody over 5 years old died, how long would the kids last? As long as there's popcorn, because they could probably run the popcorn maker at 5 years old. But yeah, that's what we are, we're little. We can take shelter of Durga, or we can take shelter of Radha, but you got to take shelter of one of the two, and it's your choice which one you're taking shelter of. So the Prabhupada's given us the books. He's given us all these things, Krishna consciousness. So our job is to just go ahead. You don't have to do anything special, really, right? How can we read the books effectively? Again, Prabhupada's saying chant Hare Krishna. So say priorities. To me, first priority is chanting 16 rounds, good rounds. I started chanting them before Mangalartik about 6 months ago, and it's incredible, the difference. Prabhupada's saying as a grihasta, he couldn't do this. So it depends on our position and stuff, Okay, for me, the first priority is chanting 16 good rounds. If somehow or other I can't follow the 4 principles, but if I could follow the 4 principles and not chant 16 good rounds, I would choose to chant the 16 good rounds. Okay, so set your priority, understand what the priorities are. Okay, then follow the principles strictly. Okay, then full morning program. In this movement, we require everyone to rise by 4 o'clock in the morning, attend Mangalartik or morning service, perform kirtan, and read Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm visiting so many places where they're getting up at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, so many. Yeah, that's not the Brahma Muhurta. Sun's already coming up. And yeah, it's potent. Yeah, but when you do the Gurvastika and stuff during the Brahma Muhurta, So much difference, so much potency. Okay, yeah, again, maybe you won't be able to do it all immediately, all of a sudden, but that's a requirement. It's there. Okay, so you get up, you're chanting 16 nice rounds, following the 4 principles strictly, following the morning program, which basically means a little puja, Shema, Bhagavatam, and Kirtan. Then Prabhupada says, etc. Then after that, it starts to become very individual. Chandramukhi Devi Dasi, we was doing our Bhakti Bhai Baba study with us, and we came to the story of Draupadi and having her kids having their heads cut off. Okay, and maybe 3 ladies in the group. It was amazing because she was studying the books as a lady, right? And so Arjuna says, oh, noble lady, I will catch this rascal and chop his head off, and you can take your bath standing on his head. So she told us, she said probably Draupadi didn't want her to take her bath standing on the guy's head, but she wanted to hear a man say that, right? Yeah, and so, we never thought of that. And then, of course, after that, she's like, trying to save him. Beforehand, he was going to have his head chopped off, and now she's trying to save him from even anything at all. And she told us it was just so touching to her because there was one devotee who wanted to give class in the temple in the preaching centers in Lima, and the temple president wouldn't let him do it, yeah. And so she went to him and she said, but Prabhu, he's a Prabhupada disciple. And she said, yes, Mataji, but everybody knows he's smoking marijuana. And she said, but Prabhu, he's a Prabhupada disciple. And she reading this story, she could see, yes, I'm exactly the same as Draupadi. I'm a good girl, I'm soft-hearted, and and the men have to make these decisions and say, Prabhu, you can't do this. But yes, okay. So the book is different for different people. And basically, if you're chanting your rounds, following the principles, and getting up in the morning program, then your reading is going to be potent. Is that good? Indian. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. When do we stop? Yeah. 34 minutes. Okay. Yeah. I may die here. That's okay though, right? Isn't that? To die giving 30 more minutes, die giving Bhagavatam class. It's almost as good as dying selling books. We're burning with a book in his hand. Okay, yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh.
So just to...
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Can you see me? Yeah.
I recognize you finally. Yeah.
Thank you.
By sound, yeah.
By sound, that's great. I'd just like to clarify one point of the devotee chanting anyone without initiation at the time of death.
Oh gosh.
Versus being initiated. So what is the destination in both these scenarios?
Yaya tam mam prapajante tam stataima bhajami aham. Yeah. As you surrender unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. Yeah, yeah. Heavy, yeah. Yeah. I knew one person. Yeah, he was in the army, and one guy was going to die. He was one of his companions in one of these wars we have, and the guy had already come in contact with some Krishna consciousness, this and that, and everything else. And the devotee wasn't a guru or anything else, But the guy is lying there, and he talks to the doctor, and he says basically about maximum 6 hours, 7 hours and stuff. The soldier got shot. And the soldier wanted to be initiated before he died, And so he said, the other devotee said, I can't initiate you anything else, and so forth. I'm not a devotee. And the surgeon was there, and the surgeon was looking at him. Yeah, come on. This is reality. So finally he went in there and just said, okay, do you promise to chant 16 rounds? Yes, I do. You promise to chant our whole life? Do you promise to chant, follow the 4 principles? I do. Your name is Krishna Das. Okay, and the surgeons are going, yeah. He came back after 6 hours. The guy was dead, and all 16 rounds were chanted. So what was his destination? Mr. Lawyer. Yeah. Yeah. So it's the factual content. Are you initiated? When Prabhupada, before he left his body, he said, don't change anything. Keep everything the way it is. Okay, I mentioned this before. The beads were following Prabhupada all over the place. They'd send him to Tokyo. He'd gone to Delhi. The beads would go after him to chant on the beads. He'd gone to London. So finally Prabhupada said, okay, these people can chant on the beads. It was Jayatirtha, Brahmananda, maybe about 5 or 6 people. They can chant on the beads. This is when Prabhupada was here. Okay, so as far as I know, Jayatirtha chanted on my beads, but when Prabhupada was still here. I think Nitai picked my name out of a list of the Rama Sahasranam, because everybody else had Rama names, and Prabhupada approved it, okay? And Prabhupada accepted me because my temple president recommended me. That was always required. So am I a Prabhupada disciple? Yes. Yeah. And how has it changed? How has it changed? Really, it's just, so we have basically the system, and yeah, from one perspective, yeah, Prabhupada's a Diksha Guru. From one perspective, yeah. But Prabhupada says Diksha Guru is that person who initiates according to the formalities. Okay, so then we start figuring out, yeah, am I initiated or not? Yeah, I'm just initiated, and this is happening. Then maybe somebody else, again, the question is, of course, why aren't you initiated? Maybe some circumstance again. Maybe you're in the army, you got shot or something, right? Because he wasn't initiated. I mean, it isn't ISKCON standard or anything else. But I think, at that point, the surgeon was right, because you initiated that. At that point, in a battlefield situation, they'll make you a captain even though you're a private, right? In a battle situation, we're making you guru, initiate the guy. Yeah. So I think he was initiated. He went back, Prabhupada said usually we won't take birth and we won't go back to Goloka next lifetime. Usually what you do is you take birth where Krishna is personally present. So all of us here who are following properly, whether you take initiation or not, okay, maybe next lifetime we'll all see each other in Navadvip with Nimai. Okay, now who's going to be Chankazi? Who's going to be? You start looking around and you go, yeah. But now we get to do it. But now we're doing it, and that's the final touch. Final touch, Prabhupada says. You need a little final training to be where Krishna is present, or you take birth in Vrindavan. Some of the gopis were Nityasiddha gopis, some were coming there with final thing. So that's what I say is that, it depends upon the particular circumstance. Maybe, but usually you should be initiated. Jesus Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, a long time, 40 days and 40 nights. The devil personally came and tempted him. This is a pretty good tempter. The devil came with this and that and everything else, and he refused to bow down to the devil. And before he started preaching, he went out to John the Baptist. He was giving diksha, he was with water. And John the Baptist recognized the Guru, Prabhupada says that. And he came, and John the Baptist the night before had a dream that somebody very special was coming. And when Jesus Christ came, a dove landed on his shoulder, and he recognized him. He said, you're this guy who's coming. And then Jesus Christ said, I have to be baptized also. I also have to take diksha formally. And John the Baptist said, I am not qualified to catch up the latch on your sandals. And Jesus Christ said, it's true. But for propriety's sake, it must be done. Yeah, so that's it. Everybody, should take a diksha formally and then proper process. That's the way it works and stuff. So diksha guru can do that. Then so many shiksha gurus, everything else. But in some specific circumstance, probably Lord Chaitanya just chanting, people were chanting. Probably this is a kind of diksha. Okay? Okay. Maybe one here. Yes. Okay. Back over here. Bhakti. He is Bhakti Vedanta. He got his title. He told me he had a little more to do. Okay. Yeah. My God. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. The microphone is coming. No? Where is the microphone? Somebody ate the microphone. Okay. The British took it. Okay. Yeah.
So Maharaj, you mentioned that the gopis' biggest fear was the ladies in
one
Mathura.
of their fears.
Okay. So can you please elaborate on that? Why would they fear the ladies from Mathura and Dwarka about solving crossword puzzles?
They were, because they're thinking. Even when you go to, when I go to Vrindavan now, hanging out, they're Brijbasis, right? But most of the Brijbasis in Vrindavan don't realize they're Brijbasis, kind of. And there's kind of, they think they're ordinary people and they got these problems. You know, Bihari Lal, we'll mention some names here, okay. Bihari Lal, local Gunda in our area in Raman Reti. And across from a Krishna Balaram temple, he has a shop and stuff. And you can, previously, I mean, he left his body. It was 1978 or something, 1984. Before, you could get anything you wanted from Bihari Lal's shop. It wasn't always on the table. And he was kind of like, you know, dealing with this market. So myself and Krita Karma, this very friendly Cuban devotee and stuff, he knew everybody in Vrindavan. He said, oh, Bihari Lal, I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, what's happening? And he said, oh, I was in jail in Mathura, you know. Oh, yeah, Brisbasi. I said, well, what happened? He said, well, you know, there's 4 gangs that run Vrindavan. The Yadavas, the Sharmas, the Guptas, and the police, right? These 4. This is what people, I mean, Brisbasis, they tell me this, and they have, you know, kind of an agreement of like who does what and everything else. So he said that one of the, he's a Sharma or something, and one of the Guptas had beaten up one of their leaders and stuff, you know, so there was this imbalance in power. So he said he was in the back of a scooter, and he saw one of the leaders of the Guptas or whatever it was walking there, so he pulled a screwdriver out, and as they went by, hit the guy in the back of the head. So he was in the hospital with a concussion for 2 days, and Bihari Lal was in jail for 2 weeks. These are Brisbasis, born in Vrindavan. Yeah. Oh my God, what's going on? But then he says, but Bhagavan's not going to be happy with me. And the way he said it, it was like, you know, around the corner. Bhagavan's around the corner, he lives there and stuff. It was completely personal. Like, yeah, he has these emotions, these sentiments, and he's a gunda and this and that. But yeah, Krishna's a real guy for them. He's a neighbor, this kind of stuff, and so on. So that's Vrindavan. Vrindavan is, Krishna reciprocates all kinds of mellows and everything else. Is Putana a devotee, or is she a demon? Hi guys, who's your teacher? She's a demon, right? No, Putana.
She's a demon converted to a devotee.
Okay, later. Okay, yeah. Where was she born? In Vrindavan. There's a place called Keshari in Vrindavan. When you go there, we're talking about, you know, Radharaman was talking about how Putana was born here and everything else and this and that. Now her brother is Bakasura, then Agasura. It's really great family. I don't know who their parents are, but she was born in Vrindavan. Okay, yeah. So anyway, we were there, and one old man with a little grandson was listening to the Radharaman telling the whole Katha and everything else. And then he says, oh, no, she wasn't born here. She wasn't in Hindi. She wasn't born here. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, I thought she was. And the guy left. And he says, everybody in Vrindavan knows she was born here, but nobody here will admit it. He tells people, so that's Vrindavan, right? Krishna reciprocates all these different rasas and everything else. Ram could only take one wife. He said, okay, wait until I become Krishna. You know? So anyway, but the main feeling there is this simple village life. They don't have jewels and these things. They have cow dung and flowers and these kind of things. And it's so simple, so beautiful, right? Can't surpass it. So when Krishna left and went to Dwarka, then in their bhava, you know, of enjoying themselves, they had fear that, well, when you know, because they're how old are they? Gopis are 12, 13, 14 years old. And that Prabhupada said this is the age when everything, you're not a child and you're not an adult. And all these things, sentiments are coming, and this is totally confusing and everything else. So he says, actually what's happening with the Gopis and Krishna is actually it's this bunch of kids, you know, young kids with their puppy love and this stuff, except for them, it's life and death. You know, what's happening, whether Krishna is wearing, you know, Chandravali's garland or Radha's garland. This is, you know, yeah. Oh, who cares? Yeah. So then when he went off to Dwarka, okay, if he's just going to go and kill Kamsa and come back, okay. But he starts to stay there, and all these beautiful girls are there and everything else, and they're so qualified, they have all these abilities, and they know music, they've learned all these things and everything else. And that was one of the things they were terrified of, is because the queens in Dwarka could play crossword puzzles, you know, yeah, so on. Okay? Yeah.
Just want to add, Maharaj, the ladies in Dwarka and Mathura may be expert in solving crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
But
how many girls here can solve crossword puzzles? She can solve crossword puzzles. Yeah.
But Radharani is the puzzle that Krishna is trying to solve.
Okay. Oh my God. Wow. Ooh. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna, Krishna's devotee, Radha, and devotional service, Purnamasi, these three come together in dance, and nobody can quite figure out who's in control. Yeah, yeah. Krishna, Krishna's devotee, or devotional service. Yeah, yeah. That's our reality. So on here. So I don't know any final questions or comments. Okay. So maybe have a little kirtan now or something? Yeah. Huh?
We can scour for more questions. There'll be more.
Because we have to finish on time because we are German.
We have some time.
I tell you something here. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather was from Austria, okay? And then you have your karma, right? Yeah. You only take birth, okay, what was my joke there? I won't tell it. It was about, but you only take birth in India, Prabhupada, three times you heard Prabhupada saying, you only take birth in India if in your previous lifetime you were interested in religious life and spiritual life. So we know all of you. I'm not interested, so I don't care. You know, you're Indian. Hey, we know you. I am interested. I'll buy your book. Okay, yeah. If you're interested in romance, you take birth in France. If you're interested in machines, you take birth in Germany. Yeah. If you're interested in espionage and lying and cheating, you take birth in Great Britain. Yeah. Oh God, unbelievable. The British had two spies. No, the Germans had two spies that were highly placed within the British thing during World War II. And they were able to annihilate entire regiments of British soldiers because of the information they were giving to them, right? At the end of the war, it turned out they were not German spies. They were British spies. And the British sacrificed entire regiments to establish their credulity. Yeah. The Papa said that's how, what do you call it, cunning British people can be. Okay. So they made good. Hansaduta said, said, Germans can only become temple commanders. They're not cunning enough. You could have a British guy to become temple president. Yeah. And all the French guys make good pujaris. Okay. So my grandfather was from Germany, so I have this German nature, everything on time. United States is predominated by Northern German consciousness. Okay. For Germans, there are two colors, black and white, and sometimes red. We Americans add a third color, gray. Look at how many people here have either a black, white, or gray car. Raise your hand. Yeah. Somebody have a red car? Yeah, sometimes. No green, no purple, no blue. Yeah, you can see we have this consciousness, and therefore the Bhagavad explaining things scientifically, it's necessary. Okay. Over here, up here, yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Yeah.
Thank you for the class. I have a question regarding the diplomas. You mentioned that not everybody is scholarly to do the diploma. So,
not their nature.
yeah, how should one know for oneself what degree one should do? Because what is the limit? Where should one stop, and how we can recommend?
Do you have a high school diploma?
Yes.
Are you metric?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a bachelor's degree?
Yes.
Do you have a master's degree?
Yes.
You have a PhD?
No.
Okay. You should study through Bhakti Bhai Baba. German. Yeah. And you don't need it. I mean, if you know the philosophy and everything else, Mahotsava, what does he do? Does he have a master's degree? Mahotsava, our book distributor, right? No, maybe not. So who cares? Yeah, you're the greatest book distributor in the world. So what if you got Bhakti Vedanta? Radhika Raman, right? I think maybe he has Bhakti Shastri. Yeah. But what I'm trying to do this time is get him to join us. Because, hey, people use that as an excuse, right? They say, okay, he's asking God, why should I do it? Yeah, you should do it because you're in this position and everything else. You should know the philosophy. And you do learn it. So that's part of it. What is your nature and stuff and so on. Yeah. So there. Oh, yeah. 1, 2. The microphone is coming. Yeah. Wow. Evam parampara. Yeah. Bhakti Shastri. Wow. Wow.
So happy to see you, Maharaj.
That's what the wolf told Red Riding Hood. It's a good one, isn't it?
I have a question.
How many onions? How many carrots? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have a question, Maharaj. I am one of those foolish, educated person living in ISKCON Silicon Valley and have work, home, so many things that have to be done.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to know what is it that will help, anyone like me to remain in the consciousness of like Vrindavan consciousness. What is it something that we could do?
Okay. All you said is that you're an educated fool at this point. Yeah. Silicon Valley. I think one of the most fun, I already mentioned, chant your rounds properly, follow the 4 principles strictly, and have the regular morning program. Brahma Muhurta, it's an adjustment to everything else, but you can do it and so on. And it isn't that much. Every place I'm going, everybody's having their Mangala Artik at 5:30, and by then the sun's already coming up, and it's different. It's really, why am I progressing so slowly? Because you're not chanting good rounds. For that time of the day, alcohol sales is regulated in the United States by state. There's no federal laws, okay? And they sometimes pass it on to the counties. If you look at all these things, different states have different regulations, but as far as I know, every single state says at least by 2 o'clock in the morning, you cannot sell alcohol, right? Yeah. So that's what we're saying, that the mode of ignorance, the mode of ignorance is stopping, and then the mode of goodness starts from 2 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock. Yeah, yeah. And the happy hour for the fools is can't work anymore. Boy, don't have. I want to work. So, Brahma Muhurta is designed for that benefit. And if you chant during the Brahma Muhurta and fully engaged that time, study everything else, then your whole day becomes easy. I did a research thing one time, 16 rounds. Prabhupada says if you chant 16 rounds, there'll be no question of shortage of money. 16 good rounds, okay. Management will be at your finger's end. People will respect your preaching. He goes on and on like that, and so on. There you go. Kill the robot. Yeah. So 16 good rounds, and then after that, Brahman works from 2 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Vaishya and Shakti work from 10 to 6. Real Shudra, hey, now I can, my real life can begin. I go to my bar and start doing all this stuff, and by 2 o'clock in the morning. So if you have a solid morning program, then everything else is just fun, play, whatever. So get up early and get your rounds done. And the only other thing I would add now and stuff is that, because everybody's working for money. Prabhupada said if they didn't pay you, nobody would go to work the next day. So then use the money for Krishna, where you're conscious of this fact. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, when they were building the temple in Houston, most of them had 2 family incomes. He said, okay, I want you, if you can do this now, take this vow. You're going to live on 1 income. And the other income is going to be for building the temple. And so many people, they did it, and it was tight and this and that, but then it was very simple. And then the second income is for building the temple. So something like that. And then, we know this money is for Krishna. And so then your motivation and everything else, and you become motivated to make more money. Right? Okay. Yeah. My God. Somebody. Another question or something? Yeah, okay, yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. God, who made these garlands? Are so beautiful. Yeah. Wow.
You also mentioned about finding your place in Sankirtan movement. So, what can we do to actually understand our nature better and see where we are suited best?
Yeah. Haranama eva kevalo. Kalo nasteva gatiranyata. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Is there another way? No. No. Yeah. So basically that's it. The basic principle is Shambhatan Swakata Krishna, everything happens. If you're chanting Hare Krishna, maybe you are a neophyte pure devotee. In your previous lifetime, you were very advanced, and you end up being a deer or whatever you end up being, okay. And so then if you're chanting, eventually you become regulated in your chanting, because everything will follow from chanting. Chant the Maha Mantra as much as you can. Chant it offensively. The best thing you can do is chant Hare Krishna offensively, but you can't do it. After a while, it's So, if first initiation, pretty much sambandha. You put your application out all over the place, and the Bank of Piggy responds and says, "You want to work for us? Get a letter. If you want to work for us, come to 25th 2nd Avenue at 4 o'clock on this time." So you don't know what you're going to do. Am I going to be a cashier? Are they going to put me into a management training line? Am I going to be a security guard? So I'm a janitor. But they pay, and I work. Okay, so that's sambandha. That's first initiation. Krishna's God. I chant my rounds. Okay, But by second initiation, you begin to figure out, okay, then I'm a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. I'm a Brahmana lady. I'm a Kshatriya lady. Right? Okay, and so then now this is your service. Now, my service is acting in these ways, but much more practical, because you begin to figure out what your position is. I was temple president in Berkeley, right? I think 3 times, and every single time they got me out of it as fast as they could. Which, but yeah, I mean, sometimes there was nobody else. I mean, one time, I basically saved the Berkeley temple from being taken over by Kirtanananda. They would have got it like they got Mount Kailas. I was the only guy, And then GBC had given up everybody else, but I, came up, and then we saved it, But that's my nature. My nature is Shudra, Brahmana, Brahmana, Brahmana. So I love making PowerPoint shows, right? When I'm depressed, I can always become happy making a PowerPoint show, right? Because it's Shudra, this kind of stuff, and it's intellectual. So it's my nature, And so of course by chanting and then reading the Bhagavatam and everything else, and you start to see these stories and stuff, and wow, this is what I'm like and everything else. So it gradually becomes clear. By second initiation, you should have figured out if you're Dvija or not. Do I need second initiation or not? Jayananda's Brahman thread was black from automobile grease. He told me he had a hard time remembering all the mantras. He was a Shudra, right? He was a mechanical engineer and stuff. Yeah, but he was way beyond Uttamadhikari. Have you had experiences with him? I was like, yeah. One time I tried to be more humble than Jayananda. That was what I tried it one time. That it was. It's okay. As far as my guess, and you can do this, Jayananda was an incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. Okay? Go start going through the... But by the way, when's his disappearance day? Right before Nrsimhadeva's appearance day. There's so many things like that. Yeah, but okay, but externally he was working with machines. He was head pujari and got out of it as soon as possible, and everything else, and so on. So finally, second initiation wasn't necessary for him. It may actually have been a problem, because if you're second initiated, then you've got to act like it. All these kind of things. And he was gone during Mangal Arti because he was going out to the produce market and stuff, and so on. Okay, but I need second initiation, probably everybody here. What am I? Well, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm an organizer. Yeah, that's also Dvija. I'm giving big donations to the temple. I have 25 employees and stuff. I know one person like that. Okay, you're Dvija, you're high-class Vaishya and stuff. And it's different in terms of what you're doing and stuff, So you begin by second initiation, following reading. Basically, second initiation is going to take at least 18 months minimum. Okay, And so by that time, if you're following everything strictly, then you know, this is my position. But details I don't know. If you go on, you become a Goswami. Men take sannyas formally, ladies don't. But before you become pure devotee, you become Goswami. And by then, Jitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita. You're in touch with the Paramatma. By then you start having dialogues with the deities. Right? You come in and Radha Madan Gopal. And Krishna's looking like after lunch like this, and what is this? And you start to have you're not just when you're a Brahmin, you realize, hey, if somebody comes in to blow up one of the pictures, okay. But if they come in to shoot Radha Madan Gopal, forget it. I'm going to stand in front of them. Yeah, because you realize they're not material. This is a Brahmin. But as you become Goswami, then you begin to start having, inspiration, what to do. The things start showing up at the right time. You're in touch with the super soul. And you taste the sabji, and somebody taste the sweet rice from his offering, and somebody did not put sugar in the sweet rice. They put salt. And so now you know. So that happens. It's happening. We start to become intuitive, and it's a fact. You can trust the intuition. Then after that, there's, you get, find your position more and more. What was Prabhupada's position in the Sankirtan movement? Life after life. What service had he been doing for Krishna? Translating the books and publishing, he was saying, not one lifetime. So who is he? He's translating and publishing books more than one lifetime? Okay. So, chant Hare Krishna, and then you go on, you'll just reveal it. Become Goswami. Okay, yes. This is it.
Thank you very much, Maharaj Shah.
Oh.
Sakeshwari said it was good to see you. Said like Red Riding Hood, but it's more like when Lord Chaitanya would come back.
Oh my God!
And the devotees felt that they had been in a drought. Your engagements all over the world and your adherence to Prabhupada's teachings over so many years brings us tangible feeling of connection to the very purpose of ISKCON. Thank you very much for being an example all over the world, for being one of the patrons of ISKCON of Silicon Valley. It's your spirit still remains here, so having you back is heartfelt. And I think all the devotees are welling up and ready to give some love and appreciation now.
Let me turn my hearing aid down to the...
Okay. Thank you very much. Hanumat Presaka Swami from everybody here at ISKCON.
Srila Prabhupada ki. There's a garland too, right? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now is Artik?
And now it's Artik time, so
Very
we're going to
nice.
put away all the asanas,
Yeah.
and we'll reconvene here on the temple floor in about a minute and a half. We'll see you all there. Hare Krishna. So, ladies and gentlemen, Presaka Swami Bhaktivedanta ki.
I'm Bhakti Vedanta, but I can't figure out how to turn the microphone off. Okay, I'll do it there.
This one is.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arotiko Shobha Janavitavane Jagamana Lobha Janavitavane Jagamana Lobha Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arutiko Shobha Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arutiko Shobha Janavitavane Jagamana Lobha Janavitavane Jagamana Lobha Jagajanamana Lobha Jagajanamana Lobha Gaurange Atiko Shobha Jagajanamana Lobha Gaurange Atiko Shobha Jagajanamana Lobha Jagajanamana Lobha Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Goda Hari Bol. Gati Nenitai Shan Bani Gadadhara Nikate Adhika Srini Vaschatradhara Bache Gauracha Rakna Singhastane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Naradi Adi Kore Chamarajulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosharigaya Shanga Baje Katha Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Shankar Baje Ganga Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankar Bhaje Chanta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankar Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Bahu Koti Chandra Kini Padana Ujjvala jalamala. Shiva Shukanarada Trinigadgada. Akati Vinoda Deke Gaurara Sampada. Translation. Vakati Vinoda Deke Gaurara Sampada. That's it. Gaurara Sampada. All glories to the beautiful Artik ceremony of Lord Chaitanya. This Gaura Artik is taking place in a grove on the banks of the Janavi and is attracting the minds of all living entities in the universe. The splendor of Lord Gauranga's Artik attracts the minds of all living entities in the universe. On Lord Chaitanya's right side is Lord Nityananda, and on his left is Shri Gadadhar. Nearby stands Shri Advaita, and Srivas Thakur is holding an umbrella over Lord Chaitanya's head. Lord Chaitanya has sat down on a jeweled throne, and the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, perform the Artik ceremony. Nahari Sakha and other associates of Lord Chaitanya fan him with chamras, and devotees headed by Sanjaya Pandit, Mukunda Datta, and Vasu Ghosh sing sweet kirtan. Conch shells, bells, and kartals resound, and the badungas play very sweetly. This kirtan music is supremely sweet and relishable to hear. Conch shells resound, bells resound, sweetness, and sweetness resound. The brilliance of Lord Chaitanya's face conquers millions upon millions of moons, and the garland of forest flowers around his neck shines. Lord Shiva, Shukadeva Goswami, and Narada Muni are all there, and their voices are choked with the ecstasy of transcendental love. Thus, Thakur Bhaktivinoda envisions the glory of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Madhur, 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 Madhur. Madhur, 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 Madhur. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Govinda Krishna Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajkacharya Stotara Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajkacharya Stotara Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Samaveda Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Yatai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, please have a seat. We will have Nashing Aarti now. We like to request prayers for His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Maharaj, who has been hospitalized in Montreal. So we request all the devotees to offer prayers to Sri Sri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev if he so desires. Let Maharaj come out safely from his hospitalization and protect him. Thank you for considering the request. Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Shingadev Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Tagore Premanande.
Hare Krishna. We request you all to stay back for just 4.5 minutes before Prasadam so we can make some important announcements. We'd really appreciate your time and presence. Firstly, we'd like to thank His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, His Holiness Hanumat Preshik Swami Maharaj for coming to ISV and giving us such a wonderful class today. Next, we'd like to thank His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu and Anushri for leading such a wonderful kirtan. We have 3 sponsors for today's feast. First is Milind Prabhu and Asmita Katare. So when I call up your name, please do come up and you can receive the gift from Sri Gopal Prabhu and say a few words. So Milind and Asmita Katare are grateful to be serving Vaishnavas, and that's why they're sponsoring today's feast. Harival. Are they here today? That's all right. We still thank them for their sponsorship. Next, we have Niril and Kathy Mataji, who are sponsoring on the occasion of their daughter, Keshavi's birthday. Would you like to say a few words, Mataji? Oh, actually, Keshavi can say a few words now.
You want to say? Thank you everyone for your love and blessings.
Thank you everyone for your love and blessings.
This is a little gift and the sweets for you from Mangalarti. Thank you so much. Harival. Next and last, we have Sukeshri Mataji, who is sponsoring for her donor who gave her kidney at the anniversary of his death.
Hare Krishna, requesting everybody to pray for Nick. I received a kidney from him in 2020, so this is my 6th anniversary, and I continue to sponsor a feast every year as a huge gratitude for what he has done. He not only just gave me 1 kidney, he gave another kidney to another person, he gave his liver, 6 of his organs he gave. He passed away because of an accident. So I request all the Vaishnavas here to please pray to Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan that he achieves the perfect gift of the love of the Lordships. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. This is so touching, and as you can see, you can sponsor for so many different occasions for either Saturday or Sunday, and you can sponsor on behalf of family members, yourself, or just to serve the Vaishnavas on a particular weekend. So if you're ever interested in that, Shri Gopal Prabhu, who is right here, or Hansapriya, would love... Oh, he's right here. Would love to help you out. We have 3 announcements about upcoming programs. First is for the Global Youth Sankirtan Day from Abhay.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So next week on Saturday, on the 25th, we'll have our 2nd annual Global Youth Book Distribution Day. So this idea came from back when His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu used to take the entire ISV community out once a month to go on book distribution, and one person would stay behind to cook. So we wanted to bring that back, and once a year now, all the youth will go out on book distribution. They're going out in many communities, including Detroit, in India, in Fiji, in Dallas, in Houston, and including ISV, of course. So on the 25th, we'll all go out after the morning program. So Maharaj will do a seminar after class, and talking about how we can all distribute books. And then we'll all go out to the separate locations that Maharaj will go out and inspire and also do books at many of these places. So the details, you can ask me, Ambarish, Advait Srinivasan, or Malini Mataji about any of the specifics. We'll post all the locations where to go and also about Prasadam afterwards. Ekadasi Prasadam, so it'll be good.
Thank you. Next, this Friday, we have Kirtan Oasis program, which was basically a Kirtan street party where we go out on Lytton Plaza and we get together, the whole congregation, and we chant and sing for everybody who's out on Friday night. It's a wonderful event. Please don't miss it. And it starts at, you have to catch this, it starts at 6:59 p.m. in Palo Alto. So please be there. And then we have outside, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's MSF is coming up. So we'd like to have as many people participate in the book distribution as Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So how this works is we have a table outside. You can go and sign up your name, either that you will be distributing personally a Srimad Bhagavatam set, or you could distribute a Srimad Bhagavatam set, and even better, ask someone else to also distribute a Srimad Bhagavatam set, so you're inspiring someone. Whatever you choose to do, we would really like to have that accounted for and offer that to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So please go out and just sign up your name. There's a table outside. Last announcement we have is Prabhupada Priya Mataji, who visited ISV and gave a wonderful class yesterday. She has beautiful books outside that she's authored, such as The Ancient Roots of Kirtan and The Living Gita. So these books are available outside. Please contact Manjula Kanta Mataji, who will be at the table, if you'd like to get a copy. And now we'll head for Prasadam. And we have the cooks of the Prasadam.
Today's Sunday's feast was cooked by Ananda Mataji, Shyama Bhakta Prabhu, Shyama Karuna Mataji, Divyananda Prabhu, Gopi Priya Mataji, Mayuri Mataji, Hitesh Prabhu, Indrani Mataji, Neha Mataji, Umesh Prabhu, and Shreya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, and thank you for staying back for the announcements. Prasadam will be served outside after Prasadam prayers.
Sharira vidya ja jore diya taheka jive fere vishaya sagare karma de jivaya ki lobo hoy sudurmati take jeta karmina samsare Krishna varadoya hoy tori bare jivana saprasarana dilo vai seyana vrindava radha Krishna gunana premeda koche kretanyanita amrashade govinde nama brahmane vaishnavi sarvamunyavatam rajan vishvasana vijayate prasade sarva dukkana vaninaso vijayate tasma jita soyashu buddhimaya vadishyate kayoka buddhya shakata vasanankara jajita Krishna mojino dasas nalamaya jayemahe Krishna parishitamapi nityam madhuradeshita Bhakti matena bhaktavyam natakala vicharana nayadesha niyamasata kalaniya masata Bhaktamanam kutam shishte bhaktavyam pairavrabe Bhagavad Shri Mahaprashadam ki. Please come take